Hi there, I'm just on at the shooting range and shoot some guns in, and that brings me up to a question I'm often asked. What caliber of rifle you use to kill beef, and what caliber you use to kill pigs and so forth. And I think here at the range, at the shooting range, where I'm just on sighting in my new rifle, is a good opportunity to talk about that. I use basically three firearms or guns, if you want, to kill beef, hogs and sheep. One of them is the one here that I use for the beef. That's a 223 caliber. It's very efficient even at long distance, and I use this mainly for beef and big pigs and for, like I said, long distance. Very good, very reliable rifle. What's new on this rifle too is the scope. I changed it for a small magnification. This goes 1:4 magnification, and that allows me to shoot close up and in distance. The furthest I shoot the beef is maybe 50 yards. I think 60 was the maximum I ever shot the beef at, and most of the time they're way closer. They're like 10 yards, 5 yards and so forth, and for that you want a very low magnification. If you have like a 3-time magnification, so that's too large. The target starts to get very blurry. So that's the one rifle I use, and like I said, it's 223, and that's a small bullet like this here, and very efficient, very flat trajectory. The next one I use is a 17 Magnum, and at the moment I use a lever action rifle for that with open sights, because pigs, sheep and so forth, they're even closer. They're sometimes you can point at the barrel right on their head. But sometimes they're out 15 yards too, and so I prefer open sights. There's no clutter, nothing. You get a very nice sight picture. By far the most preferred one is this one. Wherever I can, I use this one. This is a caption bolt gun. You unscrew the top here like so, and put the capsule in, and pull the trigger, the security off here, and it's off, it's ready to shoot. You hold it direct onto the animal's head and press, and then about a 4 or 5 inch long spike coming out, or a bolt coming out, hence bolt caption, comes out and goes into their brain. Talking about brains, the reason you have to do very diligent gun practice is, unlike hunting, where your target by a deer or so is maybe a dinner plate size, by killing livestock for slaughtering them and cut them up for human consumption is very different. You shoot the animal in the head, in the forehead. Very small target, very small. By a cow, you're talking about a tennis ball size or a fist size target between the eyes, right here in the middle of the forehead. And if you don't get the brain right away and knock the animal dead, or at least insensitive to pain, which is brain dead, the heart still pumps because it has to pump. So if you bleed it, the heart pumps all the blood out of the body. If you don't get that, the animal suffers. And getting a second shot off on a cattle that is hurt can be very, very difficult, because obviously they're not going to stand around and wait for you to get the second shot. They try to run away, they try to escape, and they become, quite rightly so, quite ornery. So like I said, by a beef it's about a fist, yeah, a tennis ball. By a pig it's not much bigger than a golf ball, about that size. that you have to hit, and you have to hit it exactly. And by a sheep, it becomes even more difficult. By a sheep, it's, I would say, maybe the size of a walnut. So a very, very small target. Plus it's covered with hair, which makes it appear way, way bigger than it is. So you have to know precisely where to aim, and you need a very precise firearm, that when you aim properly and do the shot release properly, you know the bullet is going to go where it's supposed to go. In addition to all other animals, like pigs, cows, they carry their head like that. A sheep carries the head like that. So you have this very small target right up here where you can hit it, or if it turns sideways, if you're really good at it, in the line between the eye, the end of the eye and the ear, there's a small tiny spot, about as big as a walnut or a hazelnut or a thumbprint, that you can hit and hit the brain with the bullet. To me, that's very important. In all them 45 years I'm doing farm slaughtering now, I probably had once or twice something go wrong. That an animal moved the head in the same moment when you pull the trigger, and the shot went a little bit to the side, but still knocked it over. And with the quick second shot, I could dispatch it. But deep inside, it hurts me. It doesn't make me feel comfortable at all. I think even a slaughterman who kill hundreds, thousands of animals, we have to take the utmost effort to kill an animal humanely and ethically. And things always can go wrong. They always can. You never know. Like I said, an animal moves the head, your gun jam, or whatever, something can go wrong. But the things that go wrong should not be because of the lack of you practicing. Like I said, we owe it to the animal. We eat animals. The meat of animals, healthy, nutritious for us. We need that in our diet. So when we kill an animal, we have to make every effort to bring that death about quickly and humanely and painlessly. So that's what I use to dispatch livestock, like I said, for large beef. I use 223 for pigs, small pigs that is, and sheep. I use a 17 HMR, not Magnum. Before I said Magnum, which is wrong. It's a 17 HMR, and a tiny little bullet, but they're real sappers. I know people, they go hunting with these things like coyotes and so forth. They're very efficient, very flat shooting. That's another thing. I don't want to always guess where I have to shoot. If a cow is 5 feet away from me or 50 feet away, I don't want to figure out in my head how high, how low I have to keep, and that's where the 223 is very good at too. From this one now, from 10 yards to 30 yards, I can hold straight bang on to the head, right in the middle of the target, and get the brain, which is very important. So I hope that answered your question, and I will share some links down in the description that lead you to more information about how humanely we kill animals. One interesting video I will link to, and that's for livestock owners that sometimes struggle to understand that an animal is way more comfortable if it is surrounded by other animals, with the animals it lived. And that's how I prefer to shoot the animal. And some animal owners, they think that the other animals who don't die suffer when they see their comrade die. That's not so. And for that I'm going to put you a link there where we see that. And I myself made that experience hundreds of times. You can shoot the pig and the other pigs, they don't care. The same with the cows. You shoot the cow out in the field with the other cows, nice and relaxed. no anxiety, no panic, no nothing. There it is. You shoot it, it drops, and all the other cows come and they carry on about their day like nothing happened. They don't bother about it. They initially maybe shriek a bit because they hear a shock go off, but after that, in fact, when I work on the animal, oftentimes the other cows come and look. And just last week, I did a steer, and one of the cows came over and licked my hand while I was skinning the steer. So no, they don't care when one of theirs dies, because animals don't have the same perception of death as we have. We fear death. We mourn about if we lose someone. Animals don't do that. They have much more important things to do, like how to stay alive, where to find the next food. The same is in the wild. You see a lion tearing down a zebra, and as soon as zebra is on the ground and the lions go over it, all the other zebras, they're right there. They carry on. They have way more important things to do than the grief about another zebra, or in our case about another cow or another pig. They don't have that emotion like we have that. And so I hope that answers all your question, and have a great day. I'm going home for coffee now. I spent 2 hours out here sighting my new gun in, and so it was fun. But it's also a huge responsibility, like I said, to always make sure that what we point the gun at to kill will be dead and doesn't have to suffer. That's very important.